minister for weddings and funerals. I know I would be remiss not to tell you, if I didn't tell you, that your relationship with God is important. Amen. It's between you. Lord, we thank you this morning. Hallelujah. We give you glory. We give you honor. We give you praise, God. We want to start this one with an offering of praise, God. We just thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for your grace and for your mercy, God. And we thank you for this hour. We thank you for the speaker, God. We thank you for the listeners. Lord, we ask that you endow her, anoint her, hallelujah, God, that you give her, she empower her to impart what she has to us. And then let us not only be hearers, but doers of your word. We thank you for the opportunity just to improve one another as we love one another, Lord. You say we need to love one another. We love you, God. We need to love one another. So we just thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for our hostess, God. Continue to bless her business, Father God. Thank you. Give her a wisdom and anointing, God. And we just thank you that all we do, God, we do it for your glory. And we ask these and all the blessings in the matchless name of Jesus. And for his sake we pray. Amen.
Amen. I just wanted to tell you about why this all came about Eugene, and then just a little bit about me, because a little bit about me. Eugene is very, 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 very important to me. And if you haven't seen it already, I love traveling. I love to see other people traveling. I love to see the smiles on you guys' faces. I started off in Missouri State with a lot of the ladies Indian, so it's been like a mini reunion. And I had to leave. After my second year. And it was tough because I left my friend. I'm married. I didn't get to graduate with everybody. So it was hard. And I left there and I got married. Real young. Some people in here wasn't in that wedding. But I got married, and that marriage turned very sour very fast. And I was in an abusive relationship, and it was hard, it was tough, but I made it out of that. In between there, I did some things that got me in trouble. Charges dismissed, all that great stuff. But what are you going to do with your life now? And I said, I'm just going to travel. I had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, I'm going to travel. First thing that came out of my mind, it wasn't, I'm going to go back to school. It was none of that. It was, I'm a traveler. Thought it was weird, but I had no idea what I was talking about. So I started traveling. 2016, I traveled with Miss Rhonda. I traveled with Bree. I traveled with a lot of ladies that were in this room, and we had so much fun. And they would give me the job of booking everything. And I'm like, well, I gotta do it. They were like, no, you gonna book it. And so Bree was like, you gonna be our own little personal travel agent. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I just booked for my friends, and that was fun. And then I seen an ad that said, you can make this a career. And I was like, yeah, I just want the money on the side, it's fine. Because during my divorce, I ended up losing a lot of money. If you've ever been divorced or had to experience anything like that, it's an expensive, very expensive thing. So I told Trish, who's one of our speakers and my mentor, and God knows I love her, because I told her, she asked me, why do you want to become a travel agent? And I said, well, when I was getting a divorce, I tried to find me something to eat, and I had no money. And the total was $316, and I didn't have enough to pay for that. And I just like, I want to change my financial status. I want to be better. And she was like, well, come join me. She was like, I'm going to change all of that, man. And she did. The reason why I wanted to do a women's empowerment conference is because a lot of the people in this room helped me. Okay? They really, really helped me. Leader Danae, Akia, Charmaine, Aretta, they all were there for me. So I figured, if somebody else can be there for me, why not be there for somebody else? And why not bring women together to be there for somebody else? So we'll go ahead and get started. My first speaker is Janelle. And I've known Janelle since Missouri State days. Me and Janelle went to clubs together. I didn't come down and stay in her bed and play with her son. And she would cook me breakfast and all kinds of stuff. And then next she'll be followed by Tierra. Tierra came down and did my makeup for that wedding. And Freddie, our dorm room, and she was just this ball of fun, this perfect personality. It was refreshing to always be around her, and so she's still that same person to this day, and I love her for that. And then next week I'm talk about my mentor. She has a lot of wisdom to give me, so I know she's gonna give it to you guys. And we got Mama Rhonda, who gonna tell it like it is, and I hope you're ready for that. She got me together all the way in New York in 2016. And I will never forget that conversation. It helped push me along. And then we got our keynote speaker, who is Miss Akita. And she prayed for me before y'all came in here. And she's always been a light. She's always been there for me. She's always got some words of encouragement. So I'm just excited. So I hope y'all ready.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all still asleep? That's so good. I like Lisa.
Hey, what's your girl?
Hey, that's as you all know, my name is Janelle Powell. Zanetta, I love her. But let me tell y'all why she made me talk. Before I get deep into it, I'm gonna tell you why she made me talk. I was in my graduation, college graduation. I'm gonna talk about the journey, but I'm gonna tell you why she made me talk. So I got my degree in corporate communications, and she said, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for graduating. I'm just so happy you're speaking on this group." What? She called me like a month after that. "Yeah, you know, I'm putting this group together. And you still speaking." Me. But she told me that I inspired her, and I laughed, and I'm like, "Inspired?" All I did was curse and make people laugh. Like, how am I inspired? But no, seriously, she told me I inspired her because of my educational journey, and I'm here to talk to you guys about that. Let's see, I've been to 3 colleges from 2006 until May 5th, 2018 is when I graduated. So in between those times, that was a good moment for me to find myself. I'll start, I was 18 years old, everyone always have a plan and what they want to do and things of that nature. I went to Langston University in the middle of Oklahoma. You couldn't even find it on the map. Google it. Everybody asked me, "What made you pick that school? Why did you want to go to Langston? It's an HBCU, it's in Oklahoma." I said, "Because it was an HBCU in Oklahoma, and that was the only school that accepted me at the time." So during that time, I partied like it was nobody's business. At the time, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go to school for optometry. I wear glasses. That's cool." Yeah, no, that's too much science for me. After that, I had met so many people from Texas, California, Florida, Chicago. So it was a big melting pot. So you got to learn how people were raised. You got to learn. I learned how to cook in college. That was a necessity. So you in the middle of nowhere. You think it's big, like a Howard University, it's gonna be so great and all that other stuff. Yeah, no. It was one of those things where you didn't have anything to do but eat, drink, partake in extracurricular activities. No, I'm not gonna say that. And just have a good time. I had such a good time. I was on academic probation. I had to call my mom to let her know that, yeah, I'm on academic probation. They're gonna send me home. She said, "Well, you need to figure it out because I'm not driving. If I drive 8 hours to come get you, you're not coming back." So I'm gonna drive me 8 hours to come get me, and I didn't come back. I fast forward to 2008. I was like, "Well, Mom, what's this school? You know, it's called Missouri State University." Mind you, did not do any research. I just knew it was 3 hours away from home. She wouldn't be worried about me. I can get there and come back. During that time, I met my best friend in 2008. I think me and her have been inseparable since 2008. She was one of the people that told me about school. Like, she was always getting her work done. We'll have fun. But that was one person that I could say told me, "Janelle, for lack of a better word, you gotta get your shit together." After that, I ended up going to Missouri State. I was there for 2 years, still on academic probation, still not focused, still not knowing what I wanted to do. Left, went home for about a year, and then it was like a difficult time to where like I was working all these odd end jobs, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna try school again." 2011, went back to Missouri State on academic probation. Was doing okay, getting C's, just making it right. And one moment it was just like, I'm about to go home. Went home 2012. Went home 2012 August. November 2012 I got pregnant with my son. I told Vanetta, I was like, yeah, you back at home, you good, just don't get pregnant. That was my whole spiel. Anybody that went to school with me, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go home, yeah, I'm gonna work and get it done, yeah, not get pregnant. That's my son. He made me the woman that I am today, because I feel like if I wouldn't have had my child, I would have just been a wreck. Just a ticking time bomb, not having any focus, not having any goals, not having any aspirations or any dreams. So within that time frame, I had made a decision as my best friend had graduated college, came home, started working on her master's program. During that time, I just looked to her and was like, how are you still doing this? It's like, we both parents, you working hard, you reading, you being positive. And I'm like, how are you doing this? She was like, I'm just doing it. I want to get my master's. This is where I'm getting my master's in. She got her master's in 2017. She got it in 2017. So I was like, yeah, that's going to be me one day. Because I had just started taking classes. Did not know to the date, the following year, that's when I graduated. So looking at her and looking at all my friends that graduated, it made me want to be a better person. It made me want to actually have something to look forward to. I got my degree in communications because that was that, but my thing is, what I really have to say is just, if you aspire to go back to school, just do it. Do what's best for you, do what's on your heart, do what's on your mind, because at the end of the day, I've learned when you speak things out into the atmosphere, it happens. So I graduated college, didn't think I was going to do it, did that. Got this job in the post office, didn't want to have a job, did that. Applied for a promotion, got that promotion, just did another promotion, and I just started my new position in the post office last week. Then, I also asked them, I think I'm crazy, because I think I'm about to take my master's program. Can you write this letter for me? She was like, sure, no problem, I got you. So now, I got the promotion I asked for, I started my master's program, and now it's just pretty much only up from here. So, like, with that being said, just always follow your goals, follow your dreams, don't give up. And I'm with you guys.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing? So I am Tiara Ortiz. Well, I apologize. I'm trying to. But Tiara Ortiz, I go by T to my friends. So y'all my friends. So I'm going to start with just a bit of an introduction. I met Zanetta, as she said earlier, in college. So it was the first day on campus. We stayed on the same floor. She stayed across the hall from me a little down. And so I was just like, oh, you're black. I was so excited because we went to a predominantly white university, those of us who went to MSU. So it was just so refreshing seeing another black person on my floor. So I was just like, okay, well, hey friend. So later on that day, we went to kind of like a get together, meet and greet kind of thing for newer students. We ended up, out of thousands of people that were on that build, we ended up sitting right next to each other. Didn't go together, but we ended up right next to each other. And in one of the activities, was it you that sat on my lap, or did I sit on your lap or something? I don't know. We were bonded. So I am from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. And this isn't something that I would typically share, but since we're close, I'll go ahead and do it. So we are close. So I'm in a foster care. I was a foster child from the age of 1 to the time I was 7 years old. My foster mom at the time ended up adopting my sister and I, and we were with her, still till this day. And that's a big part of my life, only because it used to be something that I was kind of embarrassed about. You had to pretty up when people came to see you, so they would want you, kind of thing. So growing up with that background, we were in, between those 7 years, I think we were in like 27 different foster homes, kind of all over Missouri. So I got to, but I was forced to meet a lot of people, whether I wanted to or not. And it was just really hard because right when you would get used to like a family, they would change your placement. And it's like, well, now you have to go present yourself to this other family and hope that they liked you as much or more than the previous family. It was just really ridiculous. So I felt like I always had to change myself to make people like me. You know, you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that kind of thing is rough. And everybody's not been in foster care or anything of that nature, but everybody's had a moment in their life where they questioned who they were. You know, what their purpose is, what their plans are, and a lot of us for a long time were unsure. You know, we just kind of throwing darts and hoping they land. And so Zanetta asked me to speak about kind of like self-love, inner beauty, being content with who you are. And it's been a journey. I think I told somebody yesterday, it's not something that I've quite mastered, especially in these days. I feel like it's hard to be content when there's always improvements that can be made. When we were younger, we didn't have, surgery wasn't a big thing, you know, so you can't just, I just want to be a little bit bigger and boom, take a trip and get out of here, or, you know, lipo or braces, or, you know, so that wasn't always a thing, but like that outer beauty has become the focus. I really feel like, so my tagline for my business is everybody deserves to be beautiful. Everybody knows men, they hate makeup sometimes. They feel like it's deceitful, whatever the case may be. And I have always focused on not necessarily covering up flaws, but kind of getting to a point where you enhance those flaws. In my life, that being pretty on the outside means absolutely nothing if you have a trash heart, if you have a trash personality, if you have an evil spirit that gets you nowhere at all. I won't say that I'm far in life. I'm definitely not where I want to be or where I'm going, but we're getting there. You know, there have been times where I've had to ask myself, what's my toxic trait? Like, if I could change one thing about my personality, what would it be? And I've made a conscious decision to work on those, and I actually encourage everybody to have that moment with themselves, to, you know, be really honest. So that's one thing I've always, I don't want to say hated, but, you know, it's just been that I would prefer not to have to wear glasses. You know, it's like, okay, cool, you know, kind of cute, cool. And then I don't want to say I had bad teeth, but my teeth were trash. I had chips in my teeth from like running on playgrounds and stuff like. And I still smile, but it's absolutely great. But now I look at those pictures and I'm like, oh, I had friends, and I'm like, hey, Jesus, somebody loved me at that point in life. Man, but little enhancements are okay, but also do not neglect your inner self. I feel like souls are eternal. So work on that. Beauty fades, all of that good great stuff. But just make sure you're a good person and that you do get to a point where you can sit down on the couch at night and say that you like who you are. But I feel like your inner self is what shows best. Because if you're pretty with a terrible personality, I don't know. I mean, we all know those kind of people, right? Like, dang, she's cute, she look mean, or, you know, just whatever the situation is, just try to make sure you're the person that you want to be in your life. And I'm working on we smiling, it's early, very early, but I appreciate you for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to getting to know each of you on a new level through the remainder of the trip, and to extend that into Facebook groups, chats, all of that good and great stuff. And I'm good. Just make sure y'all good people. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Good people. It's important to me. I'm a. Thanks, y'all.
everybody grab one of these. And I'm actually going to take the first 3 minutes of my time. I want you guys to do an exercise with me. Take the pen, take the marker, color marker, take the cap. Take it off. I don't know where it goes. And I want you to, everybody got their marker? Got a color marker? I want you to go around, find each woman in this room that you can within 3 minutes, and I want you to write something uplifting on her shirt. I want you to write beautiful, fierce, intelligent, smart, loving, caring, whatever you think of when you look at her. I want you to write that on her shirt. And everybody's got 3 minutes. Let's go. Put your sweater on.
I don't even want to put my sweater on. I'm not sure.
I'm feeling good.
Alright. So, as you told you, my name is Trish. I'm a travel agent, travel owner, travel agency owner. And she wanted me to talk to you guys today about the ups and downs of being a business owner. And I want to tell you flat out, there are only 2 ups and downs about being a business owner, and it's called the feast and the famine. The feast, that's when your phone is ringing off the hook, customers are lined up at your door, bookings, you basically you don't even have enough time to get them done. The checks are floating into your bank account. It's amazing. That's the feast. But the thing that you want to pay real close attention to when you're going through the feast is don't fall out during this time. Don't be like, ooh, make it rain, I got this thing. You need to save some of that money, save some of that energy, because the famine will come. Whether it comes first or whether it comes second, the famine happens. And that's just the nature of being a business owner. You don't want to get overwhelmed during this time because, it's a blessing to have more work. It's a blessing to have overflow. And you want to live in that overflow. It's important to do that. Set yourself calendar reminders if you have a service-based business. If you have, like Chrissy makes clothes. If you have customers coming in constantly and you're like, okay, I've got to get this order out by this day, make sure you're organized during that time. If you've got all that money coming in, make sure that you are organized with that as well, because that is tax liability if you're not paying taxes. Quick quotes, things like that. If you're a business owner, Michelle, thank you, Lord. Turning on the travel joy to stay organized. Spreadsheets, if you're not a travel agent, with formulas that are built into it so you understand what's going in, what's going out. Because if you're saying, okay, I'm making $200 on an outfit that I made, but it cost you $300 in material, did you really make any money?
Hello.
So you want to make sure that you are watching what's going in, what's going out, and that you're staying organized during the feast. Now, unfortunately, here comes the famine. This is when your phone is dried up, money's tight. You're like, okay, why am I in this business, Lord? This is the business you gave me, Jesus. What happened? During this time is when who you are becomes evident to yourself. This is a time that you want to hone your craft. Like I said, if you have a business that's service-based and this is the time where you're in the famine, hone your craft. Study what you do. Go to travel events that are free because you ain't got no money because you're in the famine. Go to vendor events for whatever you have, like Chrissy does clothes. I actually talked to Chrissy one day. We were talking. She's on her way to New York to buy fabric, and I was like, "Are you flying Southwest? Because the bags are free." Always in coach mode. But you have to make sure that you have yourself organized. If you're in the famine, that's the time not to be like down on yourself and like, what am I doing wrong? That's the time He's getting on my nerves. Anybody want to sell trap? Anybody want to travel? I'm broke. Me and that dude finna fight again. I'm finna go to jail. Ooh, I don't feel good. Don't nobody want to help me. I already talking to my family this week. I'm not gonna be your customer.
Right.
Because A, if you're that broke, ain't nobody else your customer. B, if you and your baby daddy funking like that, he might tear up my stuff. So I ain't gonna use none of my money. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying lie to people on social media, but your social media presence is part of your marketing. So if your social media looks like you are always negative, it looks like you are always in some kind of drama, I'm not gonna be your customer, and you're gonna have to look at, is my business failing? Is my business doing bad? It's probably that. That may be why your business is failing. That may be why customers aren't coming to you. Because I'm gonna be honest, anybody in here that I wanna do business with, I'm gonna check you out on social media. I wanna see what you're living like. I wanna see what you're doing. Because I will tell anybody that starts in this business, and she already told you, so I'm not telling you anything she didn't tell you. When she called me and said, I want to be a travel agent and I want you to be my mentor and I want you to do this with me, I said, tell me why. That was the first thing I asked her. Tell me why. Why do you want to be a travel agent? And she told me the story of her $3.16. I said to her, write that down. That $3.16 is your why. You never want to be broke again, and I won't let you as long as you are coachable. That $3.16 is your why. If you don't have a why in your business, you will fail. Because sometimes when you hit that famine moment and you like, I want to quit, I can't do this no more. My sons are my why. I can't look at my sons and say I will fail. But I also want you to be very clear. Your why cannot be your why not. Because I have children, sometimes I don't get to spend time with them. I have to be, sometimes I'm spending time with the people I'm coaching because I'm building a team. My team sometimes needs me to help them build. And sometimes I have to say to my son, I can't be with you right now. I have to sacrifice this time with you right now because this is what I'm building for us for later. Sometimes you have to give up the small thing for the great thing. I can't go to every basketball game because I have to build. I have to be able to create that legacy. I can't say for 10 years I'm at all these basketball games, but we still broke. That doesn't make sense. So sometimes your why, if you're like, and I know as women, we go hard for our kids. But we go hard for our kids, but sometimes it's the reason why we don't go hard in our business. Because we're like, well, I have kids and I have to do this and I have to do that. Sometimes you have to let the coach take them to practice so you can be on those conference calls. Sometimes you have to let dad, if he is around, be at the game because you can't be there because you're dealing with your client. You cannot let your why become your why not. I want to tell you one of the things that I am very big about is growth. You have to grow. Your comfort zone is where your greatness goes to die. If you don't get out of your comfort zone and be better than what you are today, neither will your business. Neither will any part of your life. If you are at school and you're comfortable with a C, that's where you will live. If you don't strive for that A, maybe you don't get that A, but you get that B. Okay, but you had to get out of that comfort zone to get to that A. I want you to think about yourself as a flower. If you walk up to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and they have those little flowers in those little plastic containers, but there's a whole bunch of them, they're in like a little box or whatever. If you notice, they're all in their own container, even though they're together, and they're in that little plastic thing. It's plastic for a reason. It's temporary. You're not supposed to stay in that. That's you right now. You're in that little plastic container. The situation is you have to take yourself out of that little plastic container and you have to be planted somewhere. Now, are you going to plant yourself in a garden full of other beautiful flowers, or are you going to plant yourself in a bunch of weeds? Those weeds will choke the life out of you. Sis, stop hanging around the negative people. If you don't get away from them toxic, negative, I don't care if you've known them for 20 years. Ooh, I'm going to love you from a distance. We going to still be cool, but you need to stay over there. And if you real toxic, we can't even be cool no more. Again, you have to sacrifice some people. With new levels come new devils. And Hey, Timeless Travelers. I know I haven't really vlogged all day, but we are down here looking good. All that red and black, doing what it does. Look at all these beauties. Say, hey, beauties. Hey, beauties. All my beauties down here looking delicious and delightful. Yes, we are. We're about to take a picture with the photographer here in a minute, waiting on everybody to get here, and then we're going to head for dinner. So I'll let you guys know what we're having. See you in a bit. We are at karaoke and they are clowning. So come on then. Take somebody there then. Well, Timeless Travelers, I hope you have enjoyed the day with us on the day 3 of the Ultimate Friend Shot cruise. It's been a long day. It is well after midnight and I'm exhausted, so I'm shutting it down. Tomorrow we'll be at Freeport, so I will be taking the GoPro with me. Not sure exactly what we're doing on the beach tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to a fun day. So see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Make sure you hit that notification bell, and you can also follow us on social media at Trish's Timeless Travels on Instagram, as well as Trish's Timeless Travels on Facebook. Have a good night, and I hope you guys are having timeless travels.